Hey everybody, this is Heart Attack Mac, and welcome to The Beginner's Guide. Not Stanley Parable, which some of you may have played, by the same author, or game developer, yes. Sound is on. This game is following the Stanley Parable. From what I know, it's not relevant in any way. Just the same guy.
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My
Welcome,
name is
bro.
Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Unfortunate events.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D
This
environment.
takes me back.
But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building?
Fuck?
This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Hold on. I was going to say something and I don't want to. Okay, real quick before we continue. So I don't know a lot about this game, like really at all. But one thing I do know is that this is a very wordy game. It's kind of one of those Odyssey, real life Odyssey experiences. And by that I mean we're kind of like going through a person's life or a period in somebody's life. And though this is through video games, a lot of it can be boring to some people. I totally get that. I really like these types of games that are, I would kind of say artsy, but also just kind of they're just sort of ballads. They tell a story about somebody through creative ways, not just it's a video game, do this objective, things like that. But it's just a little disclaimer that it may get boring, but don't worry, I have some other videos coming out, which should be pretty cool if you want action. Ah! Well, I got a gun now. Action! Pew pew
This game
pew!
is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
I wonder how long he spent on this. I mean, it's obviously not completed, but it looks pretty good. Depending on how long he actually spent on it, though. Unless it was like a whole year. No, I don't know. I mean, if you did something by yourself, I could get how that would take a long time.
It
I
kind
like
of looks
the
like this
animation.
game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
True.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin troop evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
What? that's pretty funny you did that. He goes through here. Ah!
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it.
Oh god.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've
Can I
ever
get
been
it?
able to discern, so in the interest
Ah!
of time, I'm just gonna skip you on.
Damn it. Okay.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
The engine room. Ah.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Where are you? I hear you. Stop making me feel bad. I want out.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just
Pause.
experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
No. Whoa. No. Whoa. Is this what happens? Whoa! Wait, what? Oh. I was like, what? What are you doing with me? Oh, cool. It's the map.
The beam causes you to
And
start
the bottom of the
floating.
universe.
And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just
look
had
at the
to
lines.
traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was
Oh.
thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Ah, the past was behind her.
Yep, in this game you can
Really?
only walk backwards.
Ah. I don't want to do it. Okay.
So
Whoa!
it's a short and relatively
not
minimalist
be seen.
experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced
Why does
than the
the future
previous game,
keep
but actually
changing?
it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Gonna go this way. Yeah. Whoa. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Whoa. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? Oh! To confront it. Whoa!
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to
That's
me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
This definitely sounds like a God. The Valve engine. Totally forgot. Source engine, maybe?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
You got it, bro.
Oftentimes,
Nonsense.
Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Okay. And as I said
I wish
earlier,
I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
as I said before, the he's gonna talk a lot. It's one of those kind of games. So forgive me if I don't have a lot of things to say, but that's just kind of the nature of this game.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Oh my
So
god,
why,
this would
if
be so
Coda's not showing
frustrating.
his games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press the use key on your gamepad, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
No! I refuse. Can I go back down slowly? Oh my god. I want to see if he'll comment, maybe. No? Okay. Fuck. I wanted him to say something. Ah! Stand on an X staring at a bear for 3 hours. Game filled with chairs, except one chair is floating. You start in a small room until you realize you can just walk through the walls. You're at a
room
gate.
That's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
A key in one game unlocks a door, a completely separate game.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
In a world where a key in one game unlocks a door, and a completely separate game, a normal game, well, you, I don't know. Ready, set, fish! Horror game. Ah! No! I wasn't ready.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
It's not a puzzle. It's got a little dingle door. Okay, there we go. I don't want to go there. What? So wait, I wonder if I can... Ah!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle
Did
again
it.
soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
A lot. A lot.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press the use key on your gamepad, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
So? Whoa. What? That's so much. What?
How about that?
I wonder
There's
if he
more to
really
it than we
modeled
had any way of knowing. I actually
like,
find it
all
funny
the
that this
rooms.
game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior, and then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that
That's
you're
true.
missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
I guess unless you're an achievement hunter. Oh, it's the same one from before. I don't want to exit.
Aha.
I don't
So
wanna.
this, combined with the entering game from earlier,
I have a little narrow
tells
pathway.
us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Triggered. I don't know why Step Back reminded me of that. Nah, don't do that. We'll say that later. The Great and Lovely Descent, I think is what it said. Not decent. The Great and Lovely Decent Human Being.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
I interrupted him.
To make
He's
all
not
of these
happy.
games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source
so it is
has certain
Source.
things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's
sounds
why
so bad.
many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Thought I broke the game. I was like, oh, Coda, I'm sorry. What? Am I gonna... Ah! Did I just die? Oh, shit! Wait, what? I feel like I missed all the shapes. It's pretty cool, though, how they... I don't know, it just looks like a jumbled mess, but it's just a... But it's really cool. It's like a jumbled mess, but it combines to make something real. Artistic Mac! Just painting my brushes. I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Mike! Didn't mean to hurt you. I gotta get over it. I gotta go over it. The stream needs me. I can't cry. Okay. Oh, you oughta. I can't. Okay, I would have totally done that if I didn't have glasses. Why you oughta? There we go. Now the internet has seen almost full stupid Mac.
This prison, funny enough,
Felt
in
that
Coda's
on my
original
arm.
design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Holy shit.
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
So is this still
This is something that he and I used
2008?
to argue about a lot. You know,
Or 2009, I
whether a
can't
game
remember.
ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible?
They're like
And so we just got into
sideways.
heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
I really enjoy this game. Like it's functionally boring. I guess objectively boring, but it's just interesting hearing about their friendship, you know? Just it's a cool thing. It's interesting hearing what kind of a person Coda was or is. I don't know. I don't know anything about these people. What the heck? Arr. Keep seeing these dots everywhere too. Don't know if you'll bring that up.
It's the puzzle again. with the exact same solution as the last time.
Well, thanks for ruining it, bro. What
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Yay. The fuck?
Here, Coda
Cats.
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the buttons on your gamepad to respond.
Oh, that's cool as head turns. Oh, god damn it! I meant to hit yes. Oh. Damn it, that sucks. Because I definitely want to hit another option. The fuck? Actually, now that you mention it, I remember feeling strange as I passed through it. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, turning too fast. Whoa!
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Oh, now we got some rock or concrete.
It's a lamppost. Okay,
Lamppost.
I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point.
Got it.
He wants the work to be leading.
Got
to
it,
something.
dude.
He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
You are my destiny.
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them.
Nice.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
And clearer. Is it gonna go boop? Oh, it fades. It doesn't go boop. Boop. 2009. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you can see are left by other players. That's cool. Wonder if it was really connected to the internet. Nice room. Not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda.
Oh.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up.
Holy
I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either
want to do
way,
it anyway.
to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings
I'll
and
go back.
beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Okay, wait. In a world
But it's
full
ironic,
of
isn't it?
God,
That in playing
Dude!
this game and seeing how alone Coda often
in a
felt,
world full of notes,
that
one
we
man will
get
read
to
them
know
all.
him better
This
and
summer,
actually kind of
we'll
connect
believe
with him.
blue speech bubbles can talk.
And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that
The
connection.
fuck?
I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then
Oh,
I
shit.
feel less lonely too.
Wow. I'm not gonna read them all. I'm just gonna go up this ramp and then walk out. What the fuck? It's interesting, like, I mean, I guess it kind of displays the, just the nature of the internet. Though I know this obviously isn't connected to the internet, but like, oh my god, look at this. All of that. I would like to say that that is the exit over there, so I'm gonna go there, but it's just interesting, like, the different comments, like, look at me, oh, look at this, oh, look what I wrote. And then, like, all the shitty comments that, like, I don't know. I'll let the game say it, you know, I don't have to. I can assure you the guaranteed that there is an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. I refuse to believe. Butt ass butt. Oh man, butt ass butt. Classic. I need to go to the freaking bathroom. Then go! Recognize me, please. There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. Don't listen to him. A free t-shirt. Oh my god, there's so much. Need other side. Door, why you so... Makes game, includes door. Can I open door? Thanks. Open sesame. Door how open? Someday I will meet the person who made this. Oh my god. Help people because of the good internal feeling I get. I help people because of it. Wow. This is a lot. I'm gonna be passing them now. There's a... Yeah, there's too much. Man, this is very open. Doesn't give me the ability to go faster. That's nice. So how you doing? I mean, like this. I don't know if you can see me like this, but I was gonna go like that. That looks pretty cool. Stop pretending to stop people, I think. I don't know. No time. We gotta keep going. We must find the Jade Monkey. This vaguely reminds me of the Emerald City and Wizard of Oz. Like inside of it. Can I jump down? I'm gonna jump down. Oh, you...
At the end of this level,
fuck.
we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Ah.
In
that's
each of
pretty
his
cool.
games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
How?
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Huh. It's pretty cool. Weird. Something like faced me. Oh, there it is. Are you there? Please say something. Could be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak! Speak! Wow. Porn stars die too.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. That is it for the first episode of oh my god, Beginner's Guide. Thank you guys for watching. I had an awesome time playing it. Hopefully it doesn't start talking. I had a great time playing this so far, for all the reasons I described before. But thanks for watching. If you liked it, awesome. If you didn't, leave me a comment and tell me like what I can do to change it. And if it's just the game, we also got another game coming out for you, Oxenfree. Actually, it is already out. So check that out. And I think you'll enjoy that. But if you did, fantastic. See you guys. Have a good one. Still gotta figure that outro out. Doing something different every time. I can't be like a War Owl. Still have no closer.